Out speaking about the Russia-Ukraine war, the battle for Bakhmut has been raging for months now. With Russia closing in, is the key city in Ukraine's east about to fall once again? And if the city does fall, what would it mean for this conflict, which is now in its second year? Will it be a stepping stone for Moscow in eastern Ukraine? Will it change the course of the war? Our next report tries to answer some of these questions.
The Wagner Group units have effectively encircled Bakhmut. There's only one road left. They are fighting us, but their lives in Bakhmut are short. 1 or 2 days. Give them a chance to leave the city. The city is actually encircled.
A city besieged, facing relentless attacks from the Russians. The Ukrainians are digging in deep. The eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut is the epicenter of the Russia-Ukraine war. Russia's Wagner Group has issued a stern warning to Ukrainians that they should immediately abandon the city or face the consequences. With the noose tightening, the Ukrainians are making a desperate effort to hold on to their territory. Russia says that the Ukrainian troops are now blowing up bridges to stop their advance. But after intense non-stop fighting for 110 days, the city lies completely surrounded now, with only one route out left open for Ukrainian troops to withdraw. The city, which is now rendered a ghost town, had a pre-war population of over 70,000 people. Now almost every street bears the scars of the fighting. Thousands of residents have been forced to evacuate the city, leaving behind their normal lives and livelihoods.
I had a flat in the 8th district of Bakhmut. It doesn't really exist anymore. I worked all my life to buy it. I do not fear anything anymore. I was afraid when I was 14 years old. Now I'm 70 and have 7 grandchildren. Do you understand, my friend?
Ukraine also acknowledges the situation. Ukrainian army says the situation in Bakhmut is critical, with the enemy storming the city and fighting going on round the clock. Some units inside the city have been asked to withdraw. Struggling for a last few gasps, Ukrainian forces are now digging trenches west of Bakhmut. With the fall of Bakhmut, the Chasiv Yar area will be part of a new line of defense. If Bakhmut falls, it will be the first major victory for Moscow this year. Russia owes its success in Bakhmut to its Wagner militia. Before Russia began its military operation in Ukraine, it is thought that the Wagner Group had only about 5,000 fighters, but the group now commands over 50,000 fighters in Ukraine and is one of the key components of Russia in the war. The Wagner Group has publicized this video showing its fighters inside Bakhmut. U.S. National Security Council says about 80% of Wagner mercenaries in Ukraine have actually been drawn from prisons. The group is also infamous for its brutal war tactics, but many of such claims have not been independently verified yet. Russia says a victory in Bakhmut would be a stepping stone to capturing the rest of Donbas region. The region comprises of Donetsk and Luhansk. For now, Ukrainians are hanging on to their position, but the odds are heavily stacked against them, as regular Russian troops along with Wagner Group is firing on all cylinders to claim their first major victory for more than half a year.
Now, for more on this, we are being joined live by Major John Spencer, who is the chairman of Urban Warfare Studies at the Madison Policy Forum. Thank you for being with us, Major. Now, what happens if the city of Bakhmut falls? What implications will this have on the war?
Very little, to be honest. And I don't know if I agree with some of the analysis. Bakhmut as a city holds almost zero military value. It holds immense political value for both sides. And it's where Russia decided it could possibly gain a victory, and that's the political value. They'll be able to say that we took Bakhmut, but at what cost? 30,000 dead, the Wagner group prisoners getting a win, and although it wasn't Wagner who, if Bakhmut is taken, it wasn't Wagner solely that took it. But if Bakhmut falls, there's a strong defensive Ukrainian line just to the west of it. It really has very little impact other than Russia saying they have a major victory, which is laughable. It's not a major victory. It's not a key logistical hub like Kramatorsk or Izium, or all the territory that Ukraine took back in the Kharkiv offensive. And I think it's very telling that Russia hasn't had a single win, not a major win, not a single win in 6 months, despite the size of its military.
Absolutely. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.